No, we were just in the Midwest of the United States. We saw one of the most glorious mullets of all time.
Yes, and it was an unironic mullet.
Sklars And Stripes was a project that was born out of some other stuff that we had done before, but really born out of a practice we were doing when we'd go on the road. When we'd go on the road, we would try and write, I don't know,
I think like 5 to 7 minutes of stand-up in each city. Because when we go on the road, we still do clubs, so we still do a whole weekend. So Plain Lands Thursday, we give ourselves a little challenge. Can we write 5 to 7 minutes of comedy about this city by Saturday night?
And what that forces you to do is to go out and experience the town, really as best as you can, because if you're not experiencing it, we can say in Buffalo that Rick James is buried there, but if you're standing out at his grave, you see all the Hawaiian leis and empty beer bottles, and you can actually make the joke, like, what was artfully placed here versus what just blew in from the highway, which, can you think of
represents his life,
better fitting tribute for
who was at his party
versus who just blew in from the highway?
Yeah. We've been doing that for, I'd probably say like 5 years now.
Yeah, we've been trying to do that. So then we thought that would be a great thing to document. Okay, so if we had someone like Plain Lands Thursday, can we write 10 minutes of material? Let's go around with a producer, someone that we trusted, and it happened to be our friend Scott Rogowsky, who...
In the midst of the year that we were doing this, he blew up on HQ Trivia as the host of that show.
Now people can see what we knew for all this time, that he is a fast thinker, he's so funny, he's so quick, and a great collaborator. So we would sort of get with him and say, well, where should we go? And he would pick a bunch of places, and then in the moment, we would bounce things off of him and he would add stuff, and he was very much a part of this whole project.
He's very fast. I'm always super impressed with
how fast he is on HQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in this project, he's
you hear him, you hear his imprint on this project, and that is the other thing that we love about this, because for us, by the nature of the fact that we're a team, comedy's always been a collaborative thing for us. So we have no problem bringing someone else into the mix and riffing together. I think comedians do that more often than not, but that's not often spoken about because most comedians step on stage and they're alone. So then, when we're a team and we're with another person, the riffing happens, and that's where comedy is created. And that's really cool.
So Audible had shot our last special that was originally supposed to air on CISO, and now looks like it's going to be on Stars in May sometime, or Stars the app and whatnot, online and on demand, which is great. But we had a great experience working with them, and they said, do you guys have any ideas for audio books or audio documentaries that you would want to do? And we said, yeah, we
need to be about 6 hours, and it needs to be original. And we were like, this could be it.
This is like a love letter to stand-up. I mean, we saw it as 3 documentaries in one. Okay, so what's it like to be comedians at our level, traveling around and doing the country the way we do it? Comedy clubs, a couple of comedy festivals thrown in. What is that whole experience like? A year in the life of us as stand-ups at our level. Secondly, what's it like to be in those cities right now? So what is Tulsa, Oklahoma dealing with in 2017?
Or how have the weed laws changed Denver culture? For the better and the worse?
Yeah, can people still live in San Francisco? I mean, has gay culture been priced out of San Francisco even? The thing that you loved about it or thought was interesting and unique, is that now gone, and why? Then the last documentary was, how does a joke start as an observation, turn into a thought, into a joke, and then into a fully formed, polished bit between the two of us that exist on stage as a part of a larger set about this town. And we thought, okay, that is fascinating. But then what happened, which was crazy, was that the first weekend we did, and this was just due to scheduling and whatnot, was San Diego, the weekend after the election.
I mean...
So we were emotional. We didn't know what we were walking into, because San Diego, you're like, what is this place? It's military, it's
old, rich white people.
So we're like, they could actually not think the way that we do about this. And then it's a bunch of Mexican Americans and Mexicans living down there, afraid that they were going to get deported or the wall. So all this emotion. And
that's weekend one.
That's weekend one.
That's the first chapter.
So then what unfolded in the next 13 months was probably the craziest, weirdest, and worst year of the recent U.S. history. And so we were like this, and everybody retreated to their bubble.
That's right. I mean, I think everyone, aside from Fox News and MSNBC, we're all people were like, I don't want to go anywhere where I'm somewhere where people are going to feel differently from me, especially like when there's real danger involved. You think about like what's happening at some of the rallies, and a woman got killed by a car. It's like there's so much danger out there that people are like, we're going here. As comedians,
we don't have that luxury.
Like, you get the job, you got to go do the job.
Hey, you got booked at the Tulsa Blue Whale Comedy Festival. You're going to Tulsa. You want to go to the Kansas City Improv wants to bring you there. You're going to Kansas City. The St. Louis Helium. You're going to St. Louis.
Or Houston. Or Houston we went to Houston after
the hurricane, and after which, after the hurricane and then after the World Series. So we were like, can they laugh at themselves? Could they laugh at the hurricane? And we were, our attitude about Houston was like, why does it have to be like, why can't you just win the World Series? Like, why does it have to have a hurricane like come along with it? You're like, all right, the Astros, but there goes my house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, anyway. And we're like, will people
Houston
laugh?
should have this as their slogan. Houston, I dare you to like something.
I want you to enjoy it.
I want to see you try to like and be happy
because we will pull the rug out from under you. And people love that because they're like, hey, it's the summertime and my kids are out of school. And then you're like, no, it's actually 120 degrees and 100% humidity and no one can breathe.
No.
So it's that digging into that aspect of it and going into these sometimes red cities in red states and blue cities in red states and purple cities, Denver in a purple state. It was not Denver's blue, but the state is purple. And we were doing it in the suburbs. Our show wasn't in downtown. So there was a mix of people. It was fascinating and interesting. And I think that documentary emerged like, what is America dealing with right now over this period of time? And it definitely emerged through our stand-up, through the way we interacted with people in this documentary. It was super cool to do it during that period of time.